All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are at the beautiful campus of Kennesaw State University in Kennesaw, Georgia, my alma mater and home of where I earned 2 degrees, a master's and a bachelor's degree. Now today's topic is how I earned 2 debt-free degrees. Now, you may have noticed on my channel, I have posted a lot of other stories from different individuals who have also earned their debt-free degrees, which I'm so excited to share with you, and hopefully you guys can learn from their stories as well. But today I wanted to take a moment to share my story, which also appears in my new book, It Is Possible: How I Earned 2 Debt-Free Degrees and How You Can Too. So here we go. My first debt-free degree was a bachelor's degree from right here at Kennesaw State. So I will admit, I went to undergrad school a long time ago, 20 years ago maybe, I don't even know, in the 90s, the late 90s I was in undergrad. So I will let you know, obviously the cost of school was much cheaper then, but some of the things that I did to earn that debt-free degree was, at the time, Kennesaw State was a commuter school, so I actually lived at home. My parents were gracious enough to let me live at home for free, so that cut down a lot of my expenses. So I lived at home. I also worked. I worked several part-time jobs. I remember I worked at ChickfilA. I worked a job in a retail position at the local mall. There's actually a mall right across the street here, so it was very convenient. I worked several jobs on campus. I got involved with the student newspaper, which is called the Sentinel. I worked as a sports editor, and believe it or not, they actually paid me like 50 bucks a week, which wasn't much. And I also got involved in the athletics department, and I worked games for the athletics. I would run the scoreboards or do PA or run, the sound, or just whatever they needed done to work in the game operations team. So they paid me a little bit for that as well. So some of the things I did, like I said, I paid my way through school. So we were on the quarter system back then. So I would just work, save up some money, pay for the next quarter. Now, a lot of the times, I couldn't afford to go full time, so I went part time. So that was another thing I did to ensure that I was able to pay and not go into debt. Was I would drop down to part time for a semester or two, but I always went consistently. I went over the summer as well. I went over the summer for 3 years in a row, and took maybe just took one class over the summer. Just stayed consistent with it, worked, paid for it with cash, didn't go into debt. And then some of the other things that happened to me along the way that were unexpected were, when I worked in athletics, I will admit I did a lot of free labor. Some of it was under an internship program that I got course credit for. So, but of course I didn't get compensated for it, but I did get course credit for it. But I worked in athletics for a couple, 2 or 3 years as an unpaid student assistant. And then my last year of school, my senior year, the athletic director did something unprecedented. Was he put me on an athletic scholarship, a full athletic scholarship, which to my knowledge had never happened before, because I was not an athlete. I was the first non-athlete to get an athletic scholarship. Oh, and I just remembered the year before, as my junior year, they actually put me on a book scholarship. So I got all my books paid for as a junior through the athletics, which that was a tremendous amount of support that helped me financially. And then my senior year, my last year of school, full scholarship. So that covered tuition, books, everything. So my whole senior year was paid for through that scholarship. And then another thing I did was, when I was working as an employee at ChickfilA, ChickfilA has a scholarship program. At the time, and it's changed since, but at the time the parameters were I had to work there for 2 years and work 2,000 hours, which of course I fulfilled. So once you fulfill that 2-year, 2,000 hours, I received a check for $1,000. I got a $1,000 scholarship from Chick-fil-A that allowed me to apply toward my tuition. The check was made out to the school. It wasn't made out to me, so I couldn't go out and cash it and blow it. It was made out to Kennesaw State, so I took the check to the registrar's office and paid for, I believe at the time, that paid for about 2 quarters. So that was a tremendous help as well. So I did a lot of different things to pay for school. And back then, the student loan debt crisis wasn't what it is today. So I was very naive to the fact that when I walked across the stage and received my diploma, completely debt-free, I was really naive to the accomplishment that I achieved. So I was always taught, you don't go into debt. If you can't afford it, you don't do it. So that was my logic, getting the bachelor's degree. So now let me share my master's degree story, because that's going to be a little bit more relevant, because that is in more recent times. I think it had been about 15 years. I'd been out of school for about 15 years, and then I decided to go back for a master's. So I actually graduated with my master's degree in December of 2018. So not too long ago, 3 years ago from the time I'm recording this video. So what happened there was I actually came back to Kennesaw State as an employee, as a staff member. I worked in the marketing department here for about 5 years. And one of the tremendous perks of working for the university was the option of continuing your education for free. So the school has what is known as a TAP program, which is an acronym for Tuition Assistance Program. So what you do, as I think you had to be an employee for 6 months, and then you would qualify for the TAP program. And the TAP program pays all your tuition for any program, any degree program, or I think non-degree as well. So you could get a bachelor's or master's or anything that the school offers. The school would pay for it as long as you are an employee for the school. So I signed up for that. The school had a master's of professional writing that I was very interested in, that I wanted to do. It lined up with my career path. So I signed up for that. The school pays for all the tuition. So I still had the only expenses that I would have would be books and any other incidentals if I needed software or something like that. So knowing that, I still went ahead and actually applied for scholarships. I applied for several scholarships, smaller scholarships, and I actually was fortunate to win 2 scholarships. I earned a $500 scholarship and a $1,000 scholarship, and that money was applied to the books that I needed. And at the end of the day, I actually made money. I didn't spend more than $1,500 on books, because I was able to buy used books, or actually I had classmates that let me borrow books of classes that they had just taken that I needed to take. So we had a good kind of bartering system going on that was really super helpful. It saved me hundreds of dollars. And then I would actually find used books on Amazon and eBay and just sell them back once I was done with them. So I did that. So I got the $1,500 in scholarship money. So at the end of the day, I actually made money by going to graduate school. So when I graduated with my master's degree, if I would have paid for that out of my pocket, it would have been about a $20,000 for tuition for that degree. So that was completely paid for 100%. And then one other thing that happened was, that helped me pay for that degree, was right before my last semester, I actually changed jobs. So I left the university position. I took another position in the private sector. And so I just assumed I was going to have to come up with the money to pay for that last semester. We were budgeting for that and planning for that. And that last semester was just under $3,000. I think it was like $2,700. So you get an idea how much it would have cost out of pocket. So me and my wife were planning to budget for that. And then once I got into my new position at my new job, I realized that one of the benefits or the perks of that job was they actually had a tuition reimbursement program. And once I saw that on the HR website, I couldn't sign up for that fast enough. I went ahead and applied for that immediately, got approved for it. And so what happened there was I just went ahead and enrolled. I paid for it out of my money. And then at the end of the semester, you provide the documentation. You have to show them your report card. I think you couldn't get lower than a C. So you show them the documentation, the receipts, the report card, and then they reimburse you the money. So that was a tremendous benefit which is still my current employer, that they offer. So 2018, I walked across the stage with a master's degree, completely debt-free. So those are the ways that I was able to earn 2 debt-free degrees, which like I said, are chronicled in my book. If you want to check out the book, I'll link it below with the full story in there as well. So I hope some of these tips will give you guys just maybe some ideas of how you can save or avoid student loan debt. Because if you're listening to society and culture, which tells you that the only way that you can go to college is to go into debt, I'm here to tell you that you are being lied to. That is a big, fat lie. There's absolutely no reason that you need to go into debt to get a degree. So if you don't, if you don't believe my stories, go onto my channel. I have a student loan debt crisis playlist. There's a whole bunch of interviews with other people who have done the same thing. It can be done. You can do it. I believe in you. Just do your due diligence and figure out how you can get that paid for. I'm here to help. Don't worry, I'm gonna do a whole series of these videos to help you guys avoid student loan debt. So until next time, thank you so much for your support. If you want to support me further, you can subscribe to my channel. You can go to my website, which is yourmarginmatters.com. There you can read my blogs and check out more about my books and my videos. I would truly appreciate your support. So until next time, this is Jason Brown saying thank you so much for watching, and to remember that it's not the amount of money you make, but the margin that matters the most. See you next time.